Hey guys, Sifu Tarbell here, Wuxia martial arts. Right, today's Wing Chun lesson, we're going to continue on with our clinch. In the last 3 sessions, we looked at some clinch ideas of using the upper body with the hacking elbows, right, and how we could develop power that way. We talked about using the lifting punch in conjunction with the neck pulling hand here, right, here that the neck pulling hand had, devastating power for collision force. And then last week for part 3, we started to talk about the lower body, where we got into the knees, and we talked about the idea of kicking, and then if the range shortened and I was trying to do a kick, that we could always go into the knee right away, and we reviewed that as well. So you can go back and you can check your email. Those of you that are paying students, you can go back and check your email. These are unlisted videos, so you won't find them on YouTube. They're only for you to be able to have until someday, maybe way in the future, that they get made public, all right? But for now, you can go back and watch those 3. So today for part 4 of clinch, what we're gonna take a look at is continuing on with the idea of how to use the knees, but we also take a look at how to use the knees with our stance work, all right? So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start from character 2, all right? Mansell Wuxia, right? And I'm gonna go from here and I kick, going through range 1, and I chain punch. Now from here, the neck pulling hand, I'm gonna come in, right? And remember, we talked about this is punching past the head. And if the guy tried to slip, that we can pull. All right, we talked about if he slipped to the other side, that we could pull this way. All right, but for the sake of this, we're going to say maybe his head is straight up. Right, he's here, he's not moving too much, and we're able to like snatch him up here with the neck pulling hand. Now, remember, I go 1, and then the other hand is like a chin sao, just like in Chun Kyu when we do this, right? So I go here, chin sao 1, neck pulling hand, and chin sao 2, and then the hands come together. Now, common mistake a lot of people make in Wing Chun is that they try to get both hands out and just reach around and grab this guy. Now, remember in Wing Chun, it's always good you have one hand back and one hand forward. It's never good you have both hands out or both hands back. Right? So you need to be able to have something out to protect yourself unless you're attacking and defending at the same time, which is different. Yeah. So from here, we start from character 2, all right, Mansell Wuxia, or I can have fists. Either way is okay. All right. From here, I kick, front thrust kick, I step in, I do a couple of chain punches, and then I go forward with the chin sao, neck pulling hand, and then chin sao, neck pulling hand. Now, people always say, well, why wouldn't you just do both of them at the same time? It's a great question. So for Wing Chun, the idea is that when I go forward with the neck pulling hand, 1, I'm still protected here, but I chin sao, and now as I pull him in, I'm chin saoing at the same time. So this is like you give him the neck pull, and maybe this thumb is going into the eye like that, all right? So here I have the strike or just strike pump, this way. All right, so from here, character 2, front thrust kick, couple chain punches, I go forward with the chin sao, neck pulling hand, and as I'm doing that, the other chin sao comes forward, and then I go pulling hand. So this is part 1, all right? How do we get into the clinch? So from here, character 2, front thrust kick, couple of chain punches, I go forward with the chin sao, and as I do the neck pulling hand, the other chin sao comes forward, and then I connect these together. Now, you remember last week we talked about this, that the middle knuckle, right, here should be in the lao gong, right? So the central energy point in the hand, that's where I should be. Just like if you were doing a greeting, that's where I should be. So when I go forward and I go 1, that middle knuckle is gonna fit nicely right into the palm. And then remember we talked about this kind of kite shape, the space between my forearms, right? It makes that little kite shape here, and I want to be able to have my arms in. Right? You don't have to give him a death squeeze, but you just want to be able to hear so that his neck is being squeezed a little bit, and he can't circle his head out from the clinch to the side or the side, yeah? So let's go one more time, ready? Here, front thrust kick, couple of chain punches. I go forward with the chin sao, and then neck pulling hand and chin sao same time, and then I pull in, middle knuckle is in the bow, and I keep that clinch nice and tight. Let's look at it from this way. All right, from here, we go Mansell Wuxia, front thrust kick, couple chain punches. I go forward with the chin sao here. All right, I pull with the neck pulling hand, and then the other hand comes forward, and I'm nice and tight, just like this. Okay, and again, here, right, Mansell Wuxia. Right, I front thrust kick, chain punch forward, chin sao, neck pulling hand and chin sao at the same time, and then I bring these in here. Okay, and one last one. Right, Mansell Wuxia, front thrust kick, chain punching, Chun Sao goes forward, right, piercing hand, neck pull, and I go forward at the same time. Here, here, and I keep it nice and tight. All right, so this is drill number 1 for you to work on, all right, is to be able to get that front thrust kick, kicking into the punching range, punching into the clinch range. It's always the progression, okay? So once we're here, all right, and I got that clinch, and I got that lead leg forward, right, from here. Last week we talked about how we can use the knee kind of like a spear, so that when I'm here, I'm not trying to just lift straight up, because just like the uppercut, if I'm punching straight up and the guy leans back, well then I miss. So the punch should always go forward and in like that. So if he did lean back, I could continue on. Same with your knee. A lot of people want to just knee straight up and kind of do the can-can thing, right? Like the dancing girls. But this thing should be going in and forward. As I'm clinching and pulling in, it should go in and forward, and I'm pulling them in tight to my body. I want to use that knee as like a spear, and it elongates and it strikes into the body hard. Okay, so once we're here, and I got this clinch, I'm going to pull, and then like that, and the knee goes forward. So from here, I pull, and the knee goes forward. Now, don't lean way back, right? But a little lean is okay. I'm here because sometimes the guy's going to try for a punch. Freaks out, but I pull this in nice and tight. Okay, so from here, we kick, right, into the punching range goes into the clinch range, here, and now I need 1, like that. Now from here, I want to be able to use my body and my clinch, right, to control this guy. So much like Chi Sao, remember Chi Sao, you're using these motions to control that clinch situation while developing sensitivity. So when I'm doing this, you have the neck pulling hand, right? You have this one if you're going to pull to the side like that, or if you were going to elbow, right? A lot of these positions, they're already here for you to use to hit, right off of the clinch with everything that you're doing. Now, much like that, we also use our stepping and our stance work to move the person and control them in a certain way. So what we're going to do is we're going to move them out of their root, right, and position them in a advantageous position for me to strike them again, right? So from here, we kick, we punch, I clinch, neck pulling hand, Chun Sao here, and I go boom. Now from here, I'm going to step straight back and turn to character 2. So I still have the head, so I pull and I step to character 2. And when I do this, right, their body kind of gets twisted up a little bit, and then from here, I'm going to turn like this, and I'm going to knee with the back. Right, so now I get power off the back, and pull that in. Now this is a little bit hard if you don't have a partner, but if you use a little sense of enemy and visualization, it's not that hard to see what you're doing, right? So I'm in, chain punching, neck pulling hand, and I clinch. 1, I step straight back, turn to character 2, and I turn a little bit more. See this? So I'm turning the head a little bit more, and then my stance turns to Junma, 45 degrees. And now, boom, I knee in. Okay, well, let's see. We'll take a look at it this way. This way. Ready? So from here, kick, punch in, I clinch. Now, knee, I step back to character 2 from here, and then I turn. See how I start turning their head? And now I go to Junma. So both of my feet are 45 degrees, and I turn. And now all the weight's loaded because there's no weight on my front foot. All right, all the weight's loaded on the back, and I go, and I knee in this one. So the nice thing about this is you're drawing them out of their stance. If they were here and they were kind of like fighting the clinch or whatever, or trying to take a swing at you, when you step back to character 2 and turn them, they kind of like fall with you, right? And then their body becomes quite exposed. And if you have somebody at home that you trust, more importantly, that they trust you, then you can try this with somebody, right? And we will be working this in class as well, for those of you. So from here, right, boom, chain punching in, I go forward and I clinch, I bring it in. Now, off of the front leg, I knee, I step straight back, just like in Chung Q, I step back to character 2, and I turn. See these arms turn, and then, boom, and I knee. All right, one more time. Ready? So, kick, punch, 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 clinch, pull it in, set it first, really strong, then knee, step back to character 2, turn the head a little bit, turn to Junma, both feet are 45, right? Arms are still turned a little bit this way, and then the knee, okay? All right, so that is drill number 2 for you. Drill number 2 off this clinch series. Drill number 3 is that we take a look at, well, what if they try to block the knee, right? I always get this question, well, what if they block the knee? It's a very common thing. Even the untrained person will try to block the knee, right? It's fantastic, right? Whenever somebody touches a part of the body, right, that's a trigger for us. That's a reflex for us. So if I'm punching and they give me pressure, well, we develop these reflexes to be able to do something. Well, the same is with the lower body, right? So from here, right, if I'm kneeing and they block my knee and press it down, then I just let it go, right? And I kick the leg, right? So from here I go 1, they push my knee down, and I go bang, and I kick low. And I use a slant thrust, right? So we can do this from here. You can always come back, and I clinch, and now from here I knee, right? But they push my knee down. So instead of like trying to go down and just fight again with the hands, right? I use their force, and as they press down, I kick whatever leg is available. I go bang, I kick, right? And now from here, I'm gonna bring this in, and I strike. Now this motion is kind of cool. We're gonna go around their block. So I'm here, this way, right? And then I kick, they press my knee down, they try to block, right? So I kick, and now from here, I bring my hips out to go around their block because they're still here, right? Especially when I kick low, usually the person will come forward, right, to counterbalance that pressure. So I go 1, they press my knee down, and I go 2, and then hips come out, and I go 3. And this one goes from in to out, back in. So you have to have this pressure, which we have 1, this little pressure, and this pressure coming from the hip. All right, so from here, the drill that you can practice before putting it all together is just to go from here. You clinch, and you go knee, slant thrust kick, pull it out, and knee again, right, from here. Knee, right, pulling in, slant thrust kick, and then you see my hips come out around his block. He's here, I come out around his block, and then this tags him in the head. So this one is more like driving in, as opposed to like hitting up once again, yeah? So here, right from here, 1, 2, 3, right? I knee, 1, slant thrust kick, out, and back in. And here, same thing, I knee, slant thrust kick, out, and in. And you see I insert the hips here, to really like get a little power driving forward. Right, so here, I knee, boom, I slant thrust kick as a result of them pushing my knee down. Right, I go knee, boom, and then I knee again, okay? Drill number 3. So what I want you to do at home is see that you can put all of this stuff together, right? Start slow, go from character 2, kick, punch your way into the clinch, just like this. You can knee, all right? And if you want to train it right from here, you could go knee, slant thrust, and pull in, like that. Then you have the other option. Where I go forward, kick, punches, I go here, I knee, and now I step back, and I turn, and I go here. All right, now typically the guy is in a bad position for that second one. When I'm pulling him to the side, he's really exposed, so he's not going to be in a position to really deal with pushing your knee down or anything. This thing, when he pushes down, is typically when I'm straight on, this way. Okay, so that is your homework, and you'll get a nice workout in the hip flexors, and this will build the muscles that you need, along with chain kicking on the wall bag. Right, when you 1, 2, 3, front thrust, side thrust, slant thrust, working all of that to build up the hip flexor later on. This will help your footwork now and help you know, your kicking ability and all of those things, but later for cheater, when you start to get into some of the sticky leg and stuff like that, that comes a little bit later. This will really have you build the hip flexors and the muscles that you need to be stable and to develop power to do a lot of these things. Remember, everything you can do with your hands, right? Later on, you can also do with your feet, right? Mostly, okay? So with that said, that's your homework. That is clinch part 4, broken into 3 drills. Train hard, have fun. Sifu Tarbell, Wuxia martial arts. Have a good weekend, guys.